This podcast is for a mature audience and may be viewed as inappropriate or insensitive to some. Listener discretion is advised. The intention is to share conversation of like and unlike-minded individuals as they try to be the best them they can be in a life full of challenges, searching for love, acceptance, and positivity. Call 669-241-1422 and share yourself or catch up with Sweet Baby J for an anonymous face-to-face interview. Feel free to call in with questions, stories, thoughts, or anything you would love to talk about and share. Nothing is off the table when talking sweet with Sweet Baby J at 669-241-1422.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on? Oh, we're on a three-way call here. All right, let's get into it.
Sounds good.
Ladies and gents and ladies, you are here talking sweet with Sweet Baby J. Once again, as always, it's a no-face, no-case scenario. We have a very interesting topic today. As we all know, in this good life, sharing is caring. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing good. How are you?
Yeah, real good.
That's what's up. Boy, you guys got some energy. I love it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Always.
there you go.
Excited to talk about stuff, for sure.
There you go. Well, for me, it's always a great day to be me. I tried being someone else once and it didn't work out, so this is where I'm at.
All right.
Yeah, you got to be true to yourself.
Got to be true to yourself, and you guys are being very true to yourself. What is it that you guys do as a couple that makes you guys stand out from the norm?
Well, I don't know if there's like a set definition of what we do. I think what we like to call ourselves is say that we're in the lifestyle. I think a lot of people might know it more perhaps as swinging, but it's not really a term that we use very much.
Not anymore. It's more of I don't want to say old school term, but
yeah,
it kind of is.
It kind of is. It feels like when I hear the word swinging, it's more of like a 70s term or it sounds like a 70s term. But yeah, basically, I guess more technically, we practice consensual non-monogamy. We're in a committed relationship to each other, but we're not in a monogamous relationship. But it's a consensual non-monogamy.
How did you guys come into this? Like, how did this start for you guys?
Well, it was a process. We started this probably about, 5 years ago?
Yep, about 5 years.
Yeah, one day we were, I think like a lot of couples do, we were having a conversation about different fantasies that we were having or that we might have, and it just kind of developed from there.
Who started the conversation? Was it you or the wife?
Yeah, no, like that's how. Yeah, it was definitely me. Unsurprisingly, like a lot of people that get into this conversation, it was the guy. It was me. Started talking about some fantasies. Started talking about some experiences I had while in college. Kind of was seeing if she was open to maybe exploring something.
Yeah, we've always been open with our conversations with each other and like fantasy wise stuff. For him to be able to, I guess, approach me with something like that was very encouraging, and it made me feel better as a person that he could open up and just be himself to me fully.
That's pretty honest.
So we weren't sure exactly where we were headed with it, but we just wanted to have the conversation, talk it out, and see what each other's feelings were about it.
Was there ever a point where you thought, oh, this is not going to work and I'm going to get punched in the eye for this? Or, for you, young lady, was there ever a moment of insecurity that came with this conversation at all?
For me, no. I've always been an open-minded person. So when he approached this topic, my way to, I guess, go about it was just like, you know what? We can see what happens. Take baby steps into it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it does, then it does. That's kind of how it blossomed.
It was very much, hey, let's explore what we want to explore. Take it at a pace that we're comfortable with. Very much, I think, she set the tone, set the pace that we would explore with. And that's just how it kind of started, and we went from there.
I was watching this show on Netflix in which it entertains the same lifestyle that you guys are living. And the husband and wife couldn't handle it because they both started catching feelings for other people, or it became more of a stressful thing because even though the husband and wife knew what the other person was doing, their outside relationships became stressful. Does that ever happen for you guys?
For us, no. I feel like that can happen pretty easily. Like it's very kind of common.
Yeah, I would say that definitely not. This kind of lifestyle is definitely not for everybody. That's the first thing I would say. I don't think everybody should try it. I don't think it's going to work in every relationship. But in the ones that it does work, works great. And it's not always going to work. There's definitely people that have had problems with it, and it's not always perfect with us. We've gotten pretty lucky in that we figured it out. We figured out how it works for us, and I feel that because we had a pretty strong basis for us, it really helped us a lot along the way.
So what are the guidelines that you guys, for for you guys as two individuals in a committed relationship and in the lifestyle, would you mind sharing what your guidelines are, or what are the rules, or I don't know if there's a safe word, or I have no clue how this goes.
Yeah, no, you're right on the money with it. It's absolutely the rules. Have a set of rules, but they have really evolved throughout the time since we first started. There was a lot more rules when we first started as far as what we felt comfortable with and what we wanted to happen and things like that. And I wouldn't say that they've lessened, but they've evolved along the way just as we've gotten more experience and more comfortable in the lifestyle.
Agreed. Yeah, definitely. The rules have changed up a little bit as we progressed in it, only because we can kind of like read each other and feed off each other's energy more now, that we can kind of have conversations without actually speaking words and knowing what we both want and what we both don't want.
So the number one rule that it's always been for us is to make sure that we're both comfortable and on the same page as far as that's concerned. And so there was a lot of communication, and I think that's a huge, huge thing. If someone's going to be successful in this, is you got to have a lot of communication, especially when you first start out. So when we first started, there was tons of communication.
I can only imagine.
So what we would always do is we would do these things where we would call it pre-gaming and post-game, and we would have a pre-game conversation before we were in any kind of lifestyle experience.
A pre-huddle.
We were going to go on a date. Yeah, like a huddle. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like we were going to go on a date with another couple or go to a party or whatever it would be. We would be like, okay, we'll have the pre-game. Like, what are you okay with happening tonight? What are you not okay with happening tonight? What are the rules for tonight? Oh. And then more importantly, we would have a conversation afterwards, our post game. And that conversation was, absolutely. It was what happened tonight that made you feel good? You know, what happened tonight that made you uncomfortable? Was there anything that you would like to see happen different? And that was hugely important to us because it really helped us develop where our guidelines would be, where lines that we didn't want to cross would be.
Did the wife ever give you a big chest bump and be like, yo, you killed us? Anything like that? Or is there ever a case of like...
We've had our high-five moment.
Yeah, some high fives here and there. You know, we've just had these, conversations where like, oh, I can't believe that we pulled that, like pulled a hot couple or something like that. So, it definitely had our fun along the way. I mean, that's the most important thing. Like you mentioned that you saw a situation on TV where the couple got stressed about it. It should never be that. This is our stuff. The fun aspect to our life. It should always just add an additional aspect of joy or as having fun with your partner and enjoying it. There shouldn't be any kind of stress added to it. And if there is, I really definitely recommend examining what the situation is. Why is it adding stress? And take a step back, take a break, take a breather, and see what's going on.
Is there ever an intimidation factor? So you actually... see your wife being with other guys, or are you only with females, young lady? I'm asking these questions I'm just naive. I don't know.
Yes, no.
So we are considered a full swap couple, which means we both play with couples of the opposite sex. Okay. But I am also considered bisexual, so I will play with women as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so and when we first started off, going back to the rules, one of the rules is that when we first started off, we were same room only. So we would only swap if we were in the same room together. And so, so absolutely, I've seen her with other males in front of me and vice versa. Now, the rules have kind of relaxed or evolved or changed in the fact that we're okay playing separately. We don't have to be in the same room as far as to play with somebody else.
Dude, how did that feel the first time when you saw another man with your wife?
I was a little nervous at first. I wasn't always in previous relationships. I always had a little bit of jealousy towards, so I was definitely nervous that it was going to inspire a lot of jealousy at the time, but it was the opposite. It made me feel excited. I was proud. I really enjoyed it because I felt complete trust in the situation. I knew that she wasn't going anywhere. I knew at the end of the night she was coming home with me. And I also felt like, as proud that that's my woman, someone that attracts her. But most importantly, I saw that she was having a good time and she was enjoying herself. And that made me happy.
And you guys were honest about it.
Pleasure. Yeah, I got pleasure from seeing her get pleasure. And vice versa.
What would you do if you saw some dude just roll out this kielbasa sausage like, oh shit, this thing's about to go down, it's crazy? Like, what do you do?
It's all about if the dude, the number one thing for me is just want to make sure that A, that she's comfortable in the situation, and B, the guy is respectful, and I don't think he's a douchebag. You're not going to last for very long in this game, an asshole, being a dick, just being a piece of shit. And as long as the guy is respectful and throughout the whole situation, especially respectful to her and respectful to myself as well, we haven't had really any any bad kind of situations or anything bad come up with it.
That goes a very long way.
I was going to ask that, like, has there ever been a situation in which you had to throw your yellow flag? Nope, this is a foul. Can't do this.
No, that comes up with a lot of, like we were talking about the communication ahead of time. Like, hey, I wouldn't feel comfortable with you playing with this person, or I just don't feel comfortable as far as being around, and maybe not for any specific reason. It's just that I don't get a good vibe. I don't feel comfortable. Let's not engage in that.
And I can tell you, based on those conversations, pretty much everyone he's told me he's not like 100% comfortable with, I can 100% say I probably wouldn't have gone down that road anyway too. So it works out.
And that's why the communication is so important. You just want to make sure that we're always on the same page with everything. And
it's just strange that I hear you guys mentioning communication quite a bit, which is also a big reason why so many relationships fail. But you guys are communicating to the extreme.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons that this has made our relationship successful, it has really developed our communication skills. We didn't come into this knowing how to communicate as well as we do now. A lot of it was being in this situation and really learning how to be honest about things, really honest. Because now it's to the point where I don't feel like I have to hide anything from her. You know, if we're walking down the street and I see a hot woman walking by, I don't have to like pretend like I didn't notice. I don't have to say, I can just say like, oh, did you check her out? And half the time she probably noticed before I did.
And I probably pointed her out too.
Yeah. So, it's just one of those things where I don't have to hide anything from her. So our communication is that much stronger because I don't feel like I have to hide a part of my personality.
Yeah. So infidelity is a big issue, comes into marriages, but you guys are very upfront about it. So therefore you've pretty much squashed that roach. It's a wrap. So
yeah, I mean, there's really, we have, not with us, but we know people in the lifestyle where infidelity has happened. We know that it occurs, but for us, it's just so ridiculous to ever go down that path when you're in the lifestyle. Like, why would you ever cheat when all you have to do is have a conversation, and most of the time it's going to be okay? Like, most of the time you're going to be able to get what you want in that situation anyway. Why would you ever go down the path of cheating and ruin the whole relationship anyway?
What's your preferences? What's your preference for a female and young lady? What's your preference for a guy? Just if you can describe someone.
Ooh, for me, the biggest thing is personality. You have to have a really good personality, make me feel comfortable and make me laugh, and just, I don't know, just being engaging turns me on a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I think a lot of times she goes for guys who really want, put the attention on her and, focus on her and are engaged, with her and talking with her. I don't think like physically there's one type of guy or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't have a physical type of guy, but
energy.
Personality. Yep.
You like energy.
Yes, exactly. Energy. I have to be able to, I guess, have a connection, basically.
I feel you. I feel both you
guys.
Yeah,
I would say I'm pretty similar as far as that's concerned. Like type, we've been with all types, just kind of gone that range throughout the spectrum. A lot of it's based on connection and are we having fun and is there sexual chemistry? I feel like that's part of the fun of it because you get to meet a lot of different people, see if you have chemistry with a lot of different people and a lot of different types of people from a lot of different types of backgrounds. So
no race is off the table at all. You guys are open for just good energy. No race. You guys are with black people, white people, Spanish. It doesn't even matter. It's just a loving community type thing, correct? If it came to race, that is not even an issue. It's just all love as long as there's good vibes.
Absolutely.
Exactly, yeah.
Absolutely. It's never been an issue. I'm Hispanic, Kay is white, and we've been with all races. And so I wish there was more races represented in the lifestyle. I wish there was more minority representation in the lifestyle. I wish there was. As far as I feel like there's not enough, but we've definitely been across the board with it.
Out there and you're at these events, you guys see more white, Spanish, but you don't see as many black people, African American people, whatever the term. You don't see that many, or as many as you would like to see out there.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would say that's probably a better way to describe it, as we haven't seen as many as we would like to.
Yeah, exactly. It's just unfortunately, we've been to events all over the place, and we just don't see as many as we would like. We do meet a few here and there as far as that's concerned, but I definitely would like to see, and it's something we have a discussion with all the time with other people that we know in the lifestyle, that we would love to see more representation like that in the community, at the parties, at events, things like that.
Do you guys ever have like unprotected sex, or is it always how does that go down?
As far as protection, you said?
Yeah, like condoms. Is it always condoms? Sometimes not. Sometimes there are people that you are more comfortable with and which you don't use. How does that work out?
Yeah, that's one of our rules. Again, going back to the rules, is that we always use protection. It's just safer that way.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that we're just being safe with other people, with ourselves, things along those lines. And along those lines as well, we get tested pretty regularly.
Yeah, pretty regularly.
And we kind of alternate as far as when we get tested to ensure that they're on a pretty regular.
And in this unprecedented time, as they always say, with Corona, how is it being in the lifestyle with Corona? Imagine it's pretty hard to have sex with a mask on, but
yeah,
I mean, unless that's your king, some people maybe are into that.
Ah, that is very true. Put a red ball in your mouth.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Right. No, I mean, it's definitely not just us. I think it's affected the lifestyle across the board. It caused all kinds of chaos in it. We go on a trip every year to hedonism in Jamaica. That got canceled. Supposed to do another trip over the summers out in Texas, and that got canceled because of Corona. We're supposed to go on a cruise, a lifestyle cruise in November. That's probably going to get canceled. It hasn't gotten canceled yet. Tons of parties got canceled. Tons of events have gotten canceled across the board.
How's hedonism?
And
how is hedonism? I've always wanted to go there.
It's amazing.
It is probably one of the best times you'll ever experience. You can just be free and naked and not have a care in the world.
Yeah, it is our favorite place, I would say, to go in the lifestyle. It's our favorite event to do. We've gone this would have been our 4th year. We go to Young Swingers Week every year there.
Nice.
It's just the best time. We have an amazing time there. There's nothing like it. The whole week, you're naked the whole time. You're partying with friends, with people you're meeting there as well. Hedonism is amazing.
Yeah, if anybody's ever curious of trying it, I would say definitely book it and go.
Yeah.
So you guys are entertained within a certain age group? Because I went on a cruise one time and we went on a nude beach. And we started running. We're like, yes, nude beach. We took off our clothes. And when we got to the beach, holy hell, it was nothing that I wanted to see. I mean, not in a bad way, but it's just, I wasn't expecting to see 80 and 90-year-olds looking beat red.
For sure. No,
it can be that way, yeah.
Yeah, and I would say in general, but it's definitely changing. In general, in the lifestyle, it's skewed to an older demographic.
Not screwed. Come on, buddy. We're not going to use that word, screwed.
Skewed. It can't be screwed. I think it's definitely skewed to an older demographic, and a lot of that I think has to do with a lot of people. They've been married, they've had kids, their kids left the house, and now they're like, all right, it's just 2 of us. Not now. That's just my theory. Research on that, but that's just my theory. Yeah, we're not professionals, but I think that's why a lot of it kind of skewed older. But that's been changing a lot. I mean, there's been we meet younger couples all the time that are getting into the lifestyle. We go to events, and we actually put on events.
Oh, really?
That are not specific. Yeah. We actually put on events, and they're not specifically just targeted for a younger audience or a younger crowd, but it kind of gives a younger crowd like a place where they can go.
What kind of events? Like what? Yeah, you can definitely share it here, get it out to the masses.
Yeah. So when we first started, we went to a few parties where we live, and we had a good time. But one of the parties that we were going to, it stopped. So we had met a bunch of people kind of around our age at that party,
and we became really good friends with.
Yeah, that we became really good friends with. And then once that party stopped, we kind of felt like we didn't have any place to go. So we just kind of started something up with our other friends. We started meeting at this one bar on a monthly basis, and that just kind of developed into a monthly party that we've had every month now. It's been kind of put off or as delayed and whatnot and canceled a couple times because of Corona, but we've had it every month now for 4 years this October.
So you go to a bar?
And it's called the Pineapple Party.
Nice.
And we call, our events that we do are called Jack's Pineapple Parties.
Jack's Pineapple Parties?
Yeah, Pineapple Parties, yeah.
Ladies and gents, you heard of Jack's Pineapple Parties. Check them out. There you go. How do you spell that?
JAX and then pineapple, just like the fruit party.
See, I'm glad I asked
we also have a website, jackspineappleparties.com, if anybody wants to check out any of the events that we're ever doing.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I'm glad you spelled it because I would have really been like JACK.
Right.
So it's JAX, Jack's Pineapple Parties.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So, and these parties are geared towards all ages. And you said you do a monthly event at a bar. Do you guys shut down the bar and people are nude in the bar? Or is it you meet up there and then you go someplace else? How does that work?
No, we don't shut down the bar. It's a public bar, but it's a meet and greet that we do. Anybody who is lifestyle, when they come in, they're offered a wristband if they choose to take it or not, because sometimes it's a good place for new couples who are trying to get into the lifestyle to try and, kind of dip their toes in the water a little bit. So, so it's just like that. A lot of couples will pair off towards the evening. People will do after parties at private residences, or people will get hotels nearby, that kind of stuff.
Have you guys ever seen?
That's when we started off.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, we don't have themes. We don't have themes for the meet and greet just because the theme is just kind of pineapple party, and we don't want to overcomplicate it. We just want people to meet up, be able to just relax in a public setting where they feel safe. There's not a lot of pressure, things like that. And so that's how we started off, and we evolved that into a hotel party where we take over a hotel, and we've done a few of those, had over 250 people at each of those.
Nice.
And then we just did our first takeover of this resort kind of club called Secret. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, but we just did our first takeover last month of that, and we'll plan on do more of those along the line.
So you guys are entrepreneurs with this.
I'm sorry?
You've taken this lifestyle and made it into an entrepreneurial type thing. You're actually getting an income with this too.
Yeah, don't know how much of a say we're getting income. You know, it's definitely more of like our party fund. You know, that we use to just have fun with. And we have partners. Started this with some other friends, and so we have partners in this. But you know, we try not to treat it like a business. We try to treat it as just like a way for us to do something, have fun, have events, hang out with our friends, and give them something to do too. And that's how we take it. We try not to take it too serious.
Have you ever met?
Have a good time with them.
I feel that. Have you ever met anyone from your professional lives or your neighbor or a family member, like you're having a party and they just happen to come in? You're like, oh, hey.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's definitely happened. Wow. That has definitely happened. And you can feel awkward. It can be awkward for sure. But the good thing is, like, you're both in the same boat. You're both there for the same reason.
Exactly.
So it's not like they can. Yeah, so
they're not going to out you.
Yeah, they're not going to out you. It's like mutually assured destruction. You know, you know why they're there. You know why they know why you're there. So and everybody's normally pretty cool about it. Of course, it's a little awkward at first, but at the end of the day, normally everyone's pretty cool about it.
I'm loving how this sounds. Ever a guilt factor from some religious upbringing or anything that ever comes into this, or are you guys practice any type of religion, or do you guys keep that out of it? How does that ever come into play? Do you ever meet anyone at church like, hey, come pray with us?
For us, no, we're not very religious. I actually grew up Catholic, but I kind of took those teachings, I guess, logically. And I don't know, for me, I just was always an open-minded person. So like that never got in my way. And then as I grew older, I just kind of like went away from the church and just kind of became who I am on my own. But no, I don't think that's ever played a factor for us personally.
Yeah, we're not very religious, but we know we have friends that are very seriously religious, that are in the lifestyle. And I don't think they have to be mutually exclusive. I don't think that you have to, just because you are religious and follow certain teachings or certain values or whatnot based on your religion, that you can't also enjoy aspects of this lifestyle.
I agree.
I think there's easily ways that you can, as far as
balance,
be part of both things.
Life is definitely about balance. The reason why I ask that, I personally believe that there are people that in a public forum carry themselves in a way and look down their nose at people, but behind closed doors, it's a party. It's a party.
Yeah. Well, for sure. For sure. We've run into all kinds of people in public life, people that are politicians, attorneys, you name it, all kinds of different professions and famous people, athletes, things like that, professional athletes, and it's a whole walk of life. Of course, most of the time, nobody knows that this is their private life, and rightly so. This is their private life.
It's private.
And some people are comfortable with people knowing about it, and more power to them, and some people are not. But not everybody's always, no matter what your private sex life is, that's not always everybody's right to know about.
So are cameras ever allowed at any of these parties? Is it possible that if someone saw an athlete or someone famous or someone that they know, that they can actually click a picture and be like, ooh, guess who I saw? Is that ever something that someone can do, or you guys shut down the social media aspect?
At most of the parties at places like hedonism or a lot of the clubs, things like that, cameras, there's a strict rule against a camera because people want to protect their privacy and rights.
This is very intriguing, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that even have more questions than I do.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot for people to, I guess, wrap their mind around. And like we always say, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. It's not always going to work. Yeah, and I think the other thing that we always say is that this lifestyle, if your relationship is in trouble, the lifestyle's not going to fix the problems in your relationship. It's going to put a magnifying glass on. It's going to put a spotlight on. It's not going to fix the issues that you have. It's going to just bring them out. Either you're going to sink or swim in it, but if you're coming into it hoping that this is going to fix things with you, the opposite's going to happen. That's not, you already have issues in your relationship. They're not going to be helped by. It's going to be the opposite. In our experience, seeing that as well. That's what we normally see.
It puts a magnifying glass on everything.
Absolutely.
One of the past episodes I've done was with a gentleman that he does a lot of sex tourism. He goes to Dominican Republic and he goes to Colombia once a month and sometimes twice a month.
I heard that episode. I listened to that episode, that Beast Mode guy, right?
Yes. Yeah. So have you guys ever traveled? Well, you said you go different places, but have you ever traveled out of the country and entertained? And is this something that you would actually pay to be? Because this guy pays to be with these women for the most part. But have you guys ever?
No. We've never paid for companions.
Yeah,
but we definitely, when we travel, we try to go into the scene or see what we can see, or meet up with couples from wherever we travel, just to kind of broaden our horizons and, I don't know, just be a little adventurous.
Yeah, not that we have any problem with sex work or anything like that, but this is very much not sex work at any time, or is involved in sex work of any kind. So, we very much are very behind anybody who's in that industry or whatnot. We support that, but
in the street.
Yeah, but this is not like the lifestyle. It's something completely separate of that. Like it's just not. It's not involved.
As I was asking that question, I'm like, but why would you even need to? You guys are having a blast already. Like, pay for what?
You're right. I mean, we spend a lot of money in the lifestyle, but that's like for traveling, like going to Jamaica or going to different places around the country or going on cruise and drinking, you know. But we're not paying for sex or anything like that.
Is it possible? Because there was a movie with Cuba Gooding Jr. in which he actually ended up on a gay cruise. I don't remember the name of the movie, but I loved it only because the female.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I don't remember the name of the movie, but is it possible to end up on a lifestyle cruise by accident?
Nah.
You're like,
I think so. Yeah. I just had heard stories. I don't know if they're accurate, where people booked a cruise. They might have just thought it was more of like a nudist thing, where they could just be more open.
And you could,
but it ended up being a lifestyle.
Yeah, there's a lot of like shared, I don't know what's the word, like real estate with like nudism and lifestyle. They're very different. And a lot of people assume that if you're nudist, you're maybe in the lifestyle and vice versa. A lot of lifestyle people also obviously are comfortable being naked, but not necessarily being nudist. So I could see that, like if you were maybe looking to go to like a nudist cruise or something, and end up being more of a lifestyle cruise, I see that. But I don't know, it would be pretty tough if you were what we call people that are not in the lifestyle vanillas. Yeah. So if you were a vanilla and it'd be pretty tough to like accidentally end up on the lifestyle cruise. There's a lot of information that you would get ahead of time.
I swore that you said real estate. I'm like, wait a minute, you could go to a real estate cruise and end up in a lifestyle cruise? Like, what, babe? I swear to you, I was going to sell property.
Yeah, I set it up. All of a sudden, there's TVs everywhere.
I didn't mean for any of this to happen.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. No, I mean, I guess it could happen, but it'd be tough.
It'd be tough.
I think,
what was that?
Oh, I was just saying that I think, like, with these styles of trips, there's a lot of information given to you ahead of time that there's no mistake of what you're doing.
Absolutely.
When you're doing a party at a hotel or at a bar, how much different is it when you're getting a cruise ship for this? Like, are people eating dinner nude? Are people like banging poolside? And how does that work?
Well, I guess it depends on the hosts of the party. I know I can say 100% like in Jamaica, there's no nudity during eating
in most
or
places,
in the food areas.
Yeah, in most kind of events, any kind of a resort or like in Jamaica or on a cruise or anything like that, obviously there's a lot of hygiene and sanitary issues with that. So you can't be naked during any kind of eating area or things like that.
You don't want to confuse the ranch dressing for something else.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of mix-up that you don't want to drop your knife someplace you shouldn't drop your knife.
Yeah. Ooh, what was that?
Right.
Oh, wow.
By the pools, like if you're talking about Jamaica or like cruises and stuff like that, yeah, there's definitely sex by the pools. People are having fun. They by the pool, in the pool,
in the pool too,
on the bar.
So wait a minute. Yeah. So two people can be having sex in the pool while other people are Can you imagine swimming in the pool and you come up and there's just semen just going across your? Does that happen? I don't.
First rule of any of these pools is that you do not put your head in the water.
Yeah.
Keep your head above. You don't
know what you're gonna get.
You don't know what's in the water. You don't want to swallow it.
Oh my God! Don't pull I'm drowning thing and gargle some water. Your teeth might be pregnant.
No. Right. Yeah, exactly.
But other than that, I mean that happens all the time, man.
Wow.
So, in the bars, like in the bars, as far as like our meet and greets and things like that, you would be hard pressed to know that it's a lifestyle event because people aren't naked. No one's fucking on the side of the bar or anything like that. It's not like that. People are talking. The only way you would know is that you might one person make out with like three different people
and happen to be following,
or you might see like things like that, or you're like really confused about who is with who because a bunch of different people interacting and kissing and things like that. But other than that, it'd be hard pressed to know that there's anything different going on. There's just a bunch of people hanging out.
What would you do if you saw somebody come in to kiss you and they had like a huge sore on their lip? What do you do?
I mean, you try to be polite, but yeah, you definitely don't you want to avoid that situation.
You don't.
I mean, that really doesn't happen.
You don't really karate chop them in the throat, no?
No.
You avoid it. You avoid it for sure, but you try to be polite.
It's like
I think the main thing we've learned about being in the lifestyle is everybody's like super respectful of each other. So I don't think we've never been put in that situation. I mean, I've never heard of anybody else being in that situation either.
Yeah, you're not going to survive very long. You're not going to be invited to a lot of things. You're not going to know about a lot of things. You're not going to be welcomed at a lot of places if you're not respectful. You
screw up once, you're out.
There's a lot of people in the lifestyle, but at the end of the day, it's a pretty small community. So everybody kind of knows each other, and word will get out quick if you're shit.
Wow. Well, that's good. Yeah, everyone's trying to protect each other. That's really good.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, everyone. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, everyone definitely looks out for everybody else for sure.
Do you guys know of any kids that ever been born from the lifestyle? Like, oh snap, babe, I did not mean to leave it in. Like, does that ever happen?
Nah, we don't know. I mean, we know a lot of people. We've been in this a while. We've never heard of that, any kind of like Maury COVID incident like that happening, Has it happened? I'm sure it's happened somewhere. But we've never personally heard of anything like that.
Or someone starting off in the lifestyle like, hey, it's cool. And next you know, you're visiting this person like, hey, she's really cool. It actually becomes a full-fledged relationship beyond just the physical aspects of it. I can only imagine that happens.
It does happen. And again, how we kind of talked about how there's some overlapping areas between like nudism and the lifestyle. Well, there's also overlapping areas on the other, on another spectrum of it in the lifestyle and what's called polyamory, where some people, as far as they take it more past the physical side, where there's as far as like emotional relationships and things like that are built, where somebody might actually be in another relationship, be married, but have multiple relationships, like have a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, secondary partner on the side. So there's different levels. There's different levels for sure.
So you can actually have, if everyone's on board, you can actually have, let's say, 2 or 3 different wives living in the same house and just partying like a rock star.
I mean, that's the extreme of it, and that's not common. And again, that's more probably polyamorous than really in the lifestyle. But you can be both. But it can happen. I don't know if it would get the sense of like wives when you talk about like bigamy and things like that, where you're like a bunch of people are living together. But it can happen, it can happen. It's just there's like anything, there's a spectrum to it. Yeah. On one end of that spectrum is more of a poly lifestyle where there's more as far as there's people dating and in relationships.
I know that in past I've heard of different cultures in which the man has multiple wives. You always hear how many wives. You don't really hear a female having multiple husbands. Or do you guys know of something? Like, hey, put me on. I don't know.
We not husbands, but we know people that like women that have multiple boyfriends.
But they're more on the poly aspect of it.
But they definitely, we have friends that there's one female and she has 2 or 3 boyfriends. So it's not always reverse.
So I couldn't imagine, right? I have things popping in my head as we go. So you see your wife going down on another dude. Do you kiss her?
I mean, I don't mind. That's
really?
Yeah, man.
Wait a minute. I wish you could see my face right now. So wait.
I know. I'm not the most, maybe not the most popular answer.
Yeah.
So wait.
I don't think about it. It's not like I think about it. It's not like I'm like waiting for her to be done and kissing her. It just kind of stuff happens. So it's like I'm not like, oh, go brush your teeth right now before I kiss you. Kind of.
I think when you're in the moment, it's just like the passion just kind of takes over.
Yeah, and a lot of times I'm doing my own thing on the side, or you do my own thing involved in it. So I'm not sitting there, and not that there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
What we do, but I'm not sitting there watching her, so I'm not thinking about it. It's just it happens.
So if she was going down on a dude, now you guys got me asking the crazy shit. So if she was going down on a dude, and the dude finished off, and she just like the lips was all glazed up, and she didn't know, and came to give you a kiss.
Again, coming back to like the rules thing, that's one of our rules.
Oh, okay.
I can't do that. In her mouth.
Oh, okay. So that's a rule. That's a rule.
Yeah, for her. Like that's one of the rules that she doesn't want other guys to do that, like in her mouth, on her face, anything like that. So that situation wouldn't happen.
Okay. So do you have a fluid issue?
If it did happen for some reason, no, I would not be comfortable kissing her.
I gotta ask you, like, yo.
Yeah.
Wow. So you have, is that a rule because of the fact of that you might want to kiss her or something, or is it that you have an issue with fluids being on yourself?
That's more of my own personal rule, honestly. Just because I don't know. I don't know.
I think that there's certain things that we want to keep like special to us. Not that there's anything wrong with it or anything like that. It's one of those things where there are certain things that we want to keep special to us, and not that it's not going to have that comfort level with everybody else, and vice versa.
I feel you, but I wish you could have seen my facial expressions. Like, what the hell? Wow. Have there ever been like a threesome scenario like that you've been with two, like your husband and another guy at the same time? And how does something like that work? Is that a DP going on?
We personally have not done a male-female scenario. It's definitely on the plate. It's one of our bucket list items that I
really
do.
Can you handle that, young lady?
I'm open to it. She's never brought it to the table.
For me, it's harder just to find another man that I'm kind of comfortable with to be in that scenario. It's easier with women.
I can only imagine.
And we definitely, I guess we've been in what people would call like orgies, where there's like multiple couples playing. And I guess technically that scenario has happened.
Oh yeah.
But it's not just the three of us, like only 3 people. I mean, it definitely happened in group scenarios, like group plays, where that scenario has happened where you've been with two guys, like me and another guy, or two guys, whatnot, in that instance. But it hasn't been where we specifically just play, like we plan, okay, we're just gonna play just the three of us with another male. But it's happened a bunch of times with females.
So wait, I gotta ask, man.
Yeah.
So this DP, I've never actually experienced anything like that. But is that something that you can do? Like, is that possible?
It is possible.
It is possible. Again, that's not something she's comfortable with.
Oh, okay.
And I don't want to speak for you, but I've done it with another couple.
Really?
Of it, you know, people who've done it. Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, definitely possible.
I'm really here like, what? I thought it was just in the movies. Wow, okay.
No,
all right.
People do DP, DVP.
Whoa. Let's rewind. You said DP and what else?
DVP.
DVP.
You know what that is?
No.
So DP is double penetration.
Yes.
DVP is double vaginal penetration.
Oh, snap.
So, yeah.
Wait.
DV
double?
Neither of us have done that. We know people have done it. We've seen it, but neither of us have done that. Yeah, we've never done it. Unlike DP, where I've been a part of that with other people, with DVP, no, we've never done. Neither one of us has experienced that, but we've definitely seen it.
So wait, can a dude possibly say that he is straight and do a DVP?
I think so.
I think
so.
God bless
Absolutely.
you.
I mean, I think with things like this, man, the more comfortable you are with your sexuality, if you're just comfortable with the fact that if you're straight and you're just comfortable with that fact, you're going to be fine with things like that, I feel like. But it's not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
It's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's totally cool, too. There's no pressure and, things like that. But if you're going to get in these group experiences, things are going to be in close quarters.
You got to be ready for some action.
You got to be ready. I mean, not like there's anything like malicious or on purpose or anything like that happens, but sometimes you get knocked into each other and stuff like that.
Wow. You said logistics?
I mean, it's logistics. I mean, come on. It's like,
how many cars can park in this garage?
You don't sweat too much. You don't sweat it as far as that stuff's concerned. It's not like, I don't know. I feel like if you're comfortable in the fact that you're straight and that's it, then I don't. To me, it's like, all right, let's not worry about it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, hey, rock out.
It's not for everybody, man.
Yeah.
That's not how everybody makes it. As long as you're comfortable, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I clearly. I mean, it's clearly a case of if you're comfortable and everyone that's involved is comfortable, then the party's on.
Exactly.
And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. I actually started this whole Talking Sweet journey because I really speak to a lot of people. And I love hearing people doing whatever it takes for them to be the best them that they can be in their journey of life. And it really sounds like you guys have found a way to maintain happiness, and it's not an illusion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we like to think so. We definitely like to think that we found a way to bring this aspect of our life that just makes our marriage work better.
Yeah, I feel like it makes us as a couple better, and then us as individuals better too, because we're just, I don't know, it's just freeing, and we can be who we want to be. Yeah, we're honest. It feels like, I think we touched on this earlier, it's helped our communication outside of it, because now we just opened up more paths and lines of communication and communicating with each other better. So just that aspect of it has strengthened our marriage and really helped our trust. We're not worried about infidelity at all. There's never that, what if she's out? We do not. We don't know.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of people affected though.
We do have to.
We're the minority.
Yeah, we're the minority.
I was just wondering if you go to parents-teacher night and the teacher was like, oh, hey, we know you. Like, okay, now the kid got to get all A's because I've been giving up all his A.
Yeah.
I mean, we know the things like that where that's happening. Yeah. There's a lot of teachers in the lifestyle. A lot of professions are teachers, police officers, and nurses.
Yeah.
Oh, the most stressed out ones, huh?
Exactly.
Looking for a release.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Well, I got to say, I really appreciate you guys for talking sweet with Sweet Baby J. He comes out and supports Jack's Pineapples. What is it?
Jack's Pineapple Party.
Jack's Pineapple Parties. I really hope that you guys get, because it sounds like you guys are moving forward in a safe and comfortable manner that respects all that, is out there to entertain it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We appreciate you having fun.
Yeah, thank you so much for having this discussion. We love talking about this stuff, so we appreciate it.
Well, hey, listen, we can always do it again. We could talk about more topics. Nothing's off the table when talking sweet, so we can always do it.
Yeah, sounds good to us. Just let us know. I'm sure you get a lot of questions after this, so we'd be happy to come back anytime you want.
Oh, there you go. And please don't forget, check out every episode on Talking Sweet. You can follow us on whatever podcast platform, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Spotify. We're on all of them, man. We share it with the world.
Sounds good.
There you go.
That's about it.